tried to change something about your life, but it actually became even tougher than normal? There are seasons in life where you want to change something and you find it so hard to actually make it happen. Well, for the next few months, we're going to be discussing something called leading young. Are you excited? Are you ready? We're going to be having guests, interesting people, and let me not bore you with all the details. I just want to give you a brief up of what is going to be happening. So enjoy the show as you continue learning on how to make yourself become better, grow yourself to achieve your purpose, and finally doing something that makes you have fun while watching it. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening for whatever time you will find this video. My name is Cathy Kurgat and welcome to Cathy Kurgat Show. Some noises please, some noises, some noises. So we've been taking a very long break, and one of the reasons we'll be taking a long break is so that we can be able to find something interesting for you to watch at home. And so Cathy Kurgat is back with something interesting, and we're talking about Leading Young, a series that will be going on for the next 3 or 4 months. And we're going to be discussing on how young people can take up their situations and transform their lives. And today I'm the only one who's going to be on the show. But yes, for the next couple of series, you're going to meet some new people, some exciting people, and some people that were before. And we're going to have discussions on how to actually take charge and lead as we young people are called to. And today, Cathy Kurgat is actually going to discuss on something very important. Growing might be easy, but sustaining that growth is actually becoming really, really tough, right? And one of the circumstances I can remember is when I grew up. I grew up in a very nice, lovely home that was very acceptance of who I am as a person. Loud, energetic, and sometimes bursts full of energies that can find me screaming once in a while. And my mom taught me how to balance my energy so that it does not become an all too consuming for the whole class. And so how did that happen? It took step by step, like how to know when to speak, when to shut up, and actually to know when to make fun and when to be serious, because sometimes it actually becomes really hard for me to balance. But my mom taught me that you have to understand the room, you have to read the room. And for you to be able to read the room, you have to be silent and observe. And so she began the journey of training me, of helping me become the wonderful speaker that I am today. I've not yet gotten there. It's been a journey even to get here and to sit down here and just to explain and to tell you all this. And so one of the harshest things that has become hard for me is actually to sustain the growth that I've come from. To understand how to sustain it is actually really, really different. Sustainability comes in when you're able to grow to a certain level. Once you get to that level, sustain it. And how do you sustain it? You understand the habits that you've come to learn and you ensure that it never changes so that you don't go back to where you are before. And a couple of things I've learned being my mother's daughter is one thing: respect. People who tend to be so energetic or tend to be so extroverted, we always tend to speak our minds. And sometimes we speak our minds and it does not make sense, right? Or sometimes we're speaking our mind and you might actually speak disrespectfully and think, nilikuwa tu nasema kitu yenye iko. Mi bora nimekwambia ukweli. But we forget that those tendencies sometimes hurt other people. When you're called to lead or when you're called to stand and lead young people, the first idea is to be respectful in that certain circumstance. What is respectfulness? Understanding that the person you're speaking to is a person of honor and is a person of worth and is a person of value. So how should you value them? How should you speak to them? Even if you're correcting a person, the tone, how you carry out or how you speak out that thought should be with respect and should be with reverence. You get me? So another thing that you need to do is that when you want to sustainably grow, you have to ensure that you surround yourself with people that are sustainably growing. Understanding that the place that you're in, you have a responsibility to ensure that the people around you can feel the effect and can feel the change and can be impacted by that change. So what is Cathy Kurgat saying? Cathy Kurgat is asking you to be so responsible over your growth that you ensure that people around you can feel it and can be transformed by it. Impact does not come when you're impacting 5 million people at the same time. Impact comes when you're transforming just 10 people and they're able to transform another 10. Now, when you grow into a place of sustainability, you're able to remain to that level of growth and you're able to grow other people. That is another good thing. So how do you get there? One of the nuggets I've come to learn is that the people that are around you really matter. If the people that are around you are the people that you are in before your growth phase, you're going to go back. But if the people that you're with now are actually people that can really impact you and really grow you to that next level, that is the people that you stick with. So another style of sustainability is ensuring that the friends that are around you are sensible too. And the Bible is very clear. Bad company corrupts good morals. And the Bible is asking us in Psalms chapter 1, blessed is the man who does not walk in the way of sinners, nor sit in the seat of the scornful, nor walk in the ways of the ungodly. Who are these ungodly people? Or who are these sinful people? Or who are those scornful people? These are people that sometimes you hear them speak and you're like, no, I should not be speaking like that. But by the fact that they're still your friends, count yourself as among those who are scornful, or count yourself as among those who do not walk in the way of the blessed people. So righteous ones of the Lord, we are being asked to be so skeptical of the people that are around us so that we can ensure that in one way or another, we do not miss out and we do not lose the growth that you've had thus far. And if by any chance you find that it's very hard for you to break or to step away from your friends, it's time you ask yourself, what is more important, the growth that you've made or these friends that keep on pulling you back? Another friend of mine told me once that if your friends can't sustain where you're going, they'll start being bitter with you because they cannot be able to handle the growth that you've had. I'm almost falling off, guys. This is how much impactful I am feeling. The reason why you're almost not getting to where you're supposed to be is because your friends will start to speak bitter to you. And once your friends start speaking bitter to you, these are conversations that will be swirling in your mind. So the questions that you need to ask yourself is, am I really ready for this sustainability of my growth system? And finally, as we're about to just understand what the sustainability means, I'll tell you a small story. So when I began my journey of being a young CEO, I started a company called Afrimia. And Afrimia was designed to help ladies in the villages to grow their own art. Still doing it, but now on pause so that I may be able to understand, to grow my capacity to handle that. The team I had then was a very good team, but did not have the capability or the capacity to help me out in that season. And I also did not have the capacity to help them because as a CEO or as a leader of them. So it ended up being disbanded. The second group I had, I realized that in as much as people have that tendency to work towards what you want, you also need to have a capacity to handle them. And they also need to have a capacity to handle your vision. So when it comes to leading young, I can understand the frustration of people when they say, I am trying to work through this. How can I get the right team? How can I get the right people around me? How can I get the right sources? The most important aspect is understanding who you are and what you want to get. Once you understand that, you'll be able to know the right people for you. And trust me, people will be drawn to you at first, every kind of person, because they want to achieve that greatness. But once you are able to understand your impact and your purpose, you're able to sieve through them and find the ones you exactly need. Now, get me correctly. You might want a lot of people, but again, too many cooks spoil what? Spoil the broth. So they may be able to destroy the wonderful, delicious meal that you're trying to create for the world. So ensure that the friends that you have around you are people that can help you grow and achieve your purpose. So even as I end today's episode, it's going to be short because I didn't want you to enjoy too much of it. I want you to understand There's three major things. Number one, you have to ensure that you are having friends around you that understand your impact, that understand your vision, that understand your growth, and are willing to walk with you to the end. Two, you must be able to understand yourself and understand where you're going and know the need of changing your environment first. And third, and most important of all, you have to ensure that you're walking hand in hand, in step with the Spirit, so that you're able to follow what the Lord is commanding you to do. And most importantly, listening even when it becomes too hard to listen. I hope this has impacted you in a way it has impacted me, because I feel now I'm ready to go back and work on a couple of things. But even as I head back, I would just want to inform you that this series is just beginning. Imagine if you're learning on sustainability. How about that person is asking, how can I grow? That is where we are going next. How can I grow in the first place? And now that you've learned sustainability, and once you grow, you're able to get even better than before. And so the next time we meet, we're going to be discussing on how can I grow? And this is a pretty nice bonus since you've already learned how to be sustainable. So once you grow, you're able to learn sustainability and you're going to be better than ever. So the next topic we're going to discuss is how can I grow? And remember, the series is called Leading Young and the show is called Cathy Kurgat Show. Please like, subscribe, and comment. And remember, if you comment, you're able to discuss on a matter you've talked right down there below on the comments. And if you want to celebrate us, it's okay, it's perfect. Bye.